Hello! Part 2! Silly technology. Folding cards for the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. The energy together, we have collaborative dreaming. So we're really working together. Energies are very open right now. There's not a lot of blocking between the Divine Masculine Feminine if this is a relationship and people outside of you. There's our own inner Divine Masculine and Feminine too, right? And sometimes we internally push those away. We won't allow ourselves to receive love or to feel our emotions, or we refuse to look at something logically, or have this discomfort in learning how to provide for ourselves. That's been a struggle of mine for like ever. Hang on. Yeah. Kids. Okay, so anyways, between external Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, and Sacred Fool again. External Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine dynamics and our own internal, there's not a lot of blocking in the energies that I'm picking up on. It's very open, receptive communication, and collaborative dreaming is perfect. The dream state has been so heightened and important for the feminine right now. There's been a lot of information being received, both from source and from our guides, but also from the Divine Masculine. And within that, there is guidance and oftentimes reassurance, right? So during the day, we are doing so much that we don't often allow ourselves that time to just sit in a receptive mode and say, what do I need to be aware of? What's going on? But nighttime, we surrender to that. So yeah, I have much higher prevalence lately of messages and insights coming through the dream time, which has been really awesome for me. Divine Feminine, we again have Sacred Fool, still keeping on that path, loving ourselves, self-love, trusting in everything that we have learned and in what our belief systems have brought us to at this point. And we have the Divine Masculine releasing allegiances. So where I said yesterday, the Divine Masculine is at this point, Archangel guidance just popped up a message on my phone. That's really funny. The Divine Masculine is really opening up to those core wounds. Release the dark wound and let love in. Those core soul wounds that have been held onto, that have hurt the inner child of the Divine Masculine so deeply, that hasn't been fully healed, and then reflects throughout the world. But those triggers keep coming up, presenting that pain. It's getting harder and harder for the Divine Masculine within us and outside of us to ignore those things any longer. But as we do begin to look at those things, maybe there are some promises and obligations, commitments, relationships that we have put ourselves in because of that wounding. And when we start to be open to that, we begin to realize that maybe some of these relationships, these dynamics aren't so healthy. And at their best, they're codependent. And at their worst, they're toxic. So really taking a look at that and saying, what does this mean? With that, we have the energy of the honeybee coming in. Honeybees are very, they work together as a team. They're a family. They're a colony. They all have a part that they play. It's all about teamwork, and they are all there for each other. So it's like the honeybee is coming in with our angels, our guides, and saying, you're not alone in this, that there's pain and that you have felt like you've suffered, but you're not alone. And we're here, and we're taking you where we're supposed to be. Maybe you just strayed off course. Maybe we're that honeybee that got really, really tired out flying and trying to do what you thought you needed to do for the colony, and you just got exhausted and strayed off course and fell asleep somewhere. And it's like all your little honeybee friends are coming to help you out. So hang in there, Divine Masculine. Again, we have the word wants to be written. We had this a few days ago. So the things that we are experiencing that are coming up, whether it's wounds or it's desires, what we're really feeling strongly we want to step into, that's very strong for the Divine Feminine, is vision boarding. What is it that we are bringing forth into this reality then? What are we creating? And then for the Divine Masculine, these wounds that you start to see come up, these patterns that are coming up, writing these things down. If it's something that you want to manifest, we're hanging it up, we're looking at it, we're envisioning it every day. We're stepping into Aquarius season. This is an incredible time for visualizing what our future is going to look like, and really, 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 really visualizing that, and then being open to what that possibility means, how that manifests, and just setting the intention that it's for the highest good. That we might not know what the best way is for this to be achieved, but the feeling that comes along with this thing that I want to create, that's what's important. Um, and for the divine masculine in particular, if there's things that you're realizing with core wounding and whatnot that you're writing, I encourage you to hold on to it for a few days at least and reread it when you're at a more removed emotionally standpoint, and really look at what you've written. Those are the things that come from our heart. And when we are writing these things down in that kind of like flurry, it's like automatic writing, and things come up from our subconscious that maybe we aren't so willing to look at on a conscious level. So we remove ourselves for a few days, and again, don't read from a place of judgment. Reflect back on what it is that you wrote, and find what the lesson is in that, and maybe just write down on a different piece of paper what your takeaway is from it. And then you can burn that paper. We're releasing it. You can set it out into a lake or the ocean if you're fortunate enough to live right by it. But the word wants to be written. So we are transforming the energies that are around us. We're alchemizing, and we are manifesting from that collaborative dreaming, right? We're all in a dream state, right? Okay, so do we even need tarot to clarify any of that? That seemed pretty thorough. I'm going to pause this. I think, I don't want this video to get away from me on length. I'm going to pause this while I pull these cards, get the gist of the message, and then press play again so that this doesn't get super duper lengthy. Just trust that it'll all be good. Okay, so where we're at so far. So the divine masculine, where he's coming from, where he's like moving out of. We have the Hierophant, Eight of Wands, Hangman, Knight of Wands. So we have the divine masculine coming out of this place where there is enlightenment that has been given to him. And this is like really fast moving. This isn't like slow process stuff. Very, very quickly, we have these downloads, and this just coming in around how this is like a new beginning. Okay, so it's like this not so drastic version of the death card, right? Death and rebirth, which is ironic because on the other side, for the divine feminine, we have death and rebirth, Five of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Three of Cups, and out with the Three of Cups came, for clarifiers, the Ten of Cups and Seven of Pentacles. So we have the divine feminine at this place where she has done a lot of healing around that. Nine of Wands has come up every day this week for the divine feminine. A lot of healing has been done around the feeling left out in the cold, feeling locked outside of oneself, outside of the dynamic with the divine feminine, feeling alone, feeling like she's had to fight her own battles. And there's this happiness now. There's this rejoicing in this strength that she's found inside of herself now, this resilience that she has, this feeling of this ability to really plant the seeds for her own happiness and put the energy towards them and watch them grow, and not so much a I need somebody else to do this for me type of a feeling, which has been really important for this divine feminine. This divine feminine is someone who has been very, very reliant on other people. So much so that if this is a relationship that's in separation, then the feeling of that separation was like devastating for this person, for these people. And, it's like being on the other side of that, of knowing like, I'm okay. So then the next line, where she's at right now, and what this lesson has kind of brought her to. We have the Ten of Swords, Star, Knight of Swords, clarified by the Devil, Nine of Swords, Three of Swords. So we have this divine feminine who's at this place where she's healed and walked away from all of these. What her greatest wish was healing around that entire energy. With the relationship with her divine masculine, her relationship with her own inner divine masculine, her relationships around her where there wasn't so much balance in the give and take. her own security. And she's receiving that. And all of these swords in this line, it's all swords unless it's a court card. And that's amazing because we're in Aquarius season, which is swords. It's all thoughts. So this is very quick movement that's coming in, that Aquarius is bringing in for us. So very, very quickly, the divine feminine is not only at a point of healing of all of this, but also that like release and the learning end of it. She felt so tied before to all of this energy and just wanted the release from that burden to just go away and to not have these sleepless nights and this heartbreak and feel this, just like this attachment, like I'm just stuck, I'm bound to this and I can't let it go. And she's on the other side of that now, which is absolutely beautiful. This week really starts to bring that into a full culmination, which is again very funny because we're in Aquarius. So what a great time for the star card, which is the sign of Aquarius, and all of these swords, which are all air signs, to be coming up. And that we have the devil as a card of Capricorn, which is what we're coming out of. So then the divine masculine this week, and heavily today, is 2 of Wands, 5 of Wands, 7 of Swords, Page of Swords, King of Pentacles. So we have the divine masculine sitting at this point where he's really having this outward look at what's been created around him. There's been a lot of this competitive and very just darker energy. It feels very sneaky. It feels just not truthful. There's been a lack of authenticity. That's what I want to say. So he's looking out and saying, there's this lack of authenticity in my life. And where does that come from? The divine masculine has done a great job at really sitting firm in that King of Pentacles coming out again. Again, every day this week you've had the King of Pentacles come out for the divine masculine. The King of Pentacles feels secure in his domain, right? He's kind of like a more balanced emperor for me. He knows very well how to lead the pack. He's a good leader. He's compassionate. He's warm and he's loving. He's that more jovial, just like what you want in your dad type of a feeling, or like that dad, that man, that authority figure that you'd want to grow up to be. If we all were still ruled by kings and queens, like you'd be okay with this guy being the king and ruling your kingdom. So the divine masculine's done a lot of work towards getting towards that more balanced, authoritative place in his life. And that's allowing him to kind of take this step back while he's in this comfort and have, it's like he's starting to have the ability to have he's learning where these energies that haven't really been cohesive with what he's trying to create are coming from. Does that come across clearly? So if he has this idea in his mind of how his home is going to be, how his children will feel cared for, how he will feel cared for, how his significant other feels cared for, what his place of work is. This feels like somebody who's like an entrepreneur or is higher up in where they're working, management, supervisor type of a position. And he knows how he wants all these places to run. For the most part, that's there. But there's these little nuances that come in that it's just like, why is that this way? Why do I feel just this edge with certain people or in certain circumstances? Where does that come from? So having this ability to start and look and see, where is that? He's learning this. Most of this was done behind his back, I'm feeling like so strongly. I think that a lot of these energies that are more shadowy were done in like the guise of night. It just wasn't outward. This wasn't people that were, outright jerks to you or said mean things or stole or whatever. It was like things that you're finding out behind your back. Okay. So healing in that. So the divine masculine is going to have this opportunity, right, from here on forward to have more clarity, to begin to see more clearly when something is amiss. I'm going to tune into that feeling and I'm going to sit with it and figure out why, instead of just go, and ignoring and seeing where it goes, sitting with that more. Okay, I'm going to pull cards for the messages to each other and guidance from spirit. Okay. Messages from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. So the divine masculine is looking out and setting, watching the ships come in, right? So like those realizations that he's having as he starts to say, this is more of what I want in life. Spirit is saying yes, and we'll bring it to you. So you start to see that coming in. What are those things? So you have the Queen of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is manifesting his Queen of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, self-worth. The Fool, trusting in new beginnings, fresh starts, and in the fabric of life, right? This is how it all unfolds. And Justice, the right thing being done, that's karma, right? Coming in and balancing the scales. And Judgment is a whole new level of awakening, right? We're releasing after that point what is not serving us. We're stepping into a new vibration of ourselves and taking our lessons with us. Okay, so like, that's beautiful. There are so many major arcana cards over here for both, but the divine masculine is like in it. The divine feminine to the divine masculine. The divine feminine is leaving situations, circumstances, relationships, energies, thoughts that are no longer serving her. She's not keeping herself stuck in this like heartbreak, woe is me place anymore. She's balanced. She knows how to stay grounded. She has strengthened her solar plexus chakra, and she wants you to know how strong she is in that she is manifesting soul relationships, people who are meant for her, really healthy, balanced places. She has big things on the horizon, and she's calling in her soul tribe right now, and those that are open to hearing her heart are coming in, right? Walking away from burden. Life is not about burden. It's not about burden. It's not about burden. If it feels like a burden, something about it is not balanced. It is not right. And she's learning that. Staying focused in the heart. We have Ace of Cups, the Chariot. She is balanced in her emotions. She's balanced in her thoughts. She's balanced in her actions. And she's following her balanced heart and where it's leading her. Six of Swords, Seven of Wands, Four of Wands, Ten of Wands, Ace of Cups, the Chariot. The divine feminine has some big, big things coming up for her. I'm so excited to be a part of that, let me tell you. Guidance from Spirit for the two. So whether this be for just yourself in your own inner or for a relationship outside of you. Magician, Ace of Pentacles, Strength, Knight of Cups, the Moon. You have the capacity within you and within your relationship to manifest everything that you want. Two energies outside of ourselves, if it's, a divine masculine, a divine feminine in a relationship, you both alchemize each other's energies. Internally, we have the ability to alchemize our own energies, using that alchemy to see the opportunities that Spirit is about to bring forward for both sides, for ourselves, is very important. Being strong in our heart, believing in where our heart is bringing us. A lot of this is going to be internal, so that's like, it's like the second guidance from Spirit, right? You can alchemize all of this around you. You are the magician. You have all of the tools to bring these new chances and abilities, opportunities forward for yourself. They're coming. They're here. Like, the feminine has been planting all these seeds, Seven of Pentacles. She's been putting energy towards it, watching it grow. We've had the divine masculine that is at a point where he's already grown everything, and now he's got to weed his garden a bit. The Ace of Pentacles is coming. We're manifesting it. You will know the paths that are bringing you where you need to go when you tune into your heart. Trust in that. We are manifesting together. Every card that's come together for the two this week has been about manifesting. It's been about the collaboration. Alrighty. Keep on keeping on. This is a really great reading. This feels like a really great place where these energies are at. And even when it's hard, just remember that doesn't last. Right? Tune into the heart. Tune into the heart. Okay. And it's okay to cry. Right, Jillian? Okay. All right. I love you all. Have a fantastic day. If I can help in any way, reach out. I can pull some cards, give some guidance of my own. Okay. Bye.